today, what I'd like to do is expand upon what I talked about last week and give you some tips and tricks for stretching. First, I'll go through some stretching techniques you can use if you have some equipment that I'll list. And after that, I'll talk about some stretches you can do without equipment. So, to jump right into it, the major piece of equipment you're going to want to invest in is a foam roller. They're pretty easy to find in any sports equipment store, or maybe even like a Walmart or a place like that. Uh, I've seen some people advertise like a wooden one or ones with different grooves and ridges on it, and in my opinion, that might just be a marketing thing. I don't think it'll aid the stretching process that much. But if you wanna get it because it feels better on what you're trying to stretch, then by all means go for that. Now I'll take you through the stretching progression that I use. So the first thing that I do is I take the foam roller and I put it at a little bit of an angle and lay down on it so that my one side, so it would be my right side of my lower back, is where all the pressure is concentrated. So your body weight is completely on that. And then you want to use your arms or your feet. If you use your arms, it'll keep most of that pressure still on the area you want to stretch out, so it's a deeper stretch. So you use your arms to rock back and forth about, I don't know, maybe 8 inches each side. So all the way down to the glute and then all the way up to the mid back. So you could do that as many times as you like on either side, and that'll really get a deep stretch in your lower back. And that's really important, really, for any training session, but especially legs when you want to get heavy. The next thing I do is I roll out my upper back. So you want to take the foam roller, keep it at that same angle you had it before, but this time lay on it with the thickest part of that roller right in your lat. And you want to keep your arm up and have a little bit of a lean toward the side. And again, keep all your body weight on that area that you want to stretch out. And then you roll back and forth same distance and really make sure that that foam is getting into your traps, rear delts, and lats. It'll bother your shoulder if you're doing it incorrectly. It'll feel kind of like it's pushing your shoulder out. So make sure just to keep everything tight as you do that, so you're stretching out the muscles and not putting strain on any of the joints that are in the area. Same thing on this side. So now that you've done your back, you can move to the legs. So before I put the foam roller on my legs, I like to do a couple little stretches. Just this one to really get your abductors and adductors nice and loose. You can do some hamstring stuff where you just touch your toes. You could sit on your knees like that and stretch out your quads by holding your feet backwards like this. And then after you've done that, what you're going to want to do is lay on the foam roller. So that the foam roller, most of the pressure is on your hip. And rolling out your hips is super important. It hurts, it really burns, but it keeps everything loose, just like rolling out any other place. And it's usually the hips is where most people face problems while lifting. Either they'll complain that they're tight, or that they kind of feel a little bit sore when they're doing exercises. So it's important to roll those out. Same thing, maybe do like 10, 12 complete rolls on that. Then you move into the quads. You lay down on the foam roller so that the foam, the thickest part of the foam, is right in the center of your quad, and you roll your entire quad. Then that in my opinion is the most painful one. It really digs deep into there. Same thing on the other one. Hamstrings, you sit on it like this, you plop one leg on top of there, rock back and forth with your arms. Same thing, 8 to 12 times each hamstring. You can roll out any other parts of your body, like the calves. Um, if I'm gonna be benching, I'll roll out my chest. I'll roll out my biceps and triceps. So basically, if you haven't caught on to this already, when you're rolling something out, you want to use your body weight to press into the foam, and then you can start moving to target different areas. So whatever you're rolling out, you want to make sure to get as much weight on it as possible. Really throw your body over it without putting yourself in an uncomfortable position. Uh, so now that's with equipment. Without equipment, uh, it's not so bad. To achieve a similar, if not the same, amount of stretch without a foam roller, um, I would just go through a basic stretch progression 3 or 4 times. So what you want to do is make sure you're targeting everything you're going to stretch. Um, to stretch out the lats and the chest, you want to put your arm up on uh, a wall, a solid surface, and lean into it and sit back and allow that stretch to happen throughout the lat and the chest. If you want to target more chest, you put your arm like this and then twist into it. If for lats, it's really this vertical motion of your arm. Legs, pretty self-explanatory. Touching your toes, just stretching out to one side. This is all really targeting primarily hamstrings. For quads, you can stand up and pull your leg toward your butt, like butt kicks. Even hopping on a stationary bike can really stretch out your quads and hamstrings. You want to make sure to get some rotator cuff movement in there really every day just to keep that healthy and strong. And yeah, I think that if you use these techniques, ideally you could do them pre and post workout. That'll keep everything moving nicely. If you don't have the time, really try to do it pre, immediately before, and that way you'll assure that you're gonna be working out not only more effectively, but you're preventing injury and you're gonna stay healthy throughout your entire lifting career. I used to be that guy who would never stretch. Would not recommend that anymore. I think I've suffered some pretty serious consequences from my lower back. Is still really bothering me. Nico was kind enough to create a new program to aid in my recovery, but it was still, even though the weights and volume are much lighter and much less than what I'd worked up to, it's still bothering me. So I'm not really sure what to do. If you have any thoughts on that, definitely shoot me an email or comment on this video, or message us through Instagram at Strength Through Steel, or any of our personal Instagrams. And that's really all I have to say for this week. We got some cool stuff coming up throughout the week with the other Strength Through Steel people. Stay tuned for my stuff. We're gonna have some new faces on board soon. I try to get that together for today, but it didn't work out. People's schedules are all over the place. Sunday is a really busy day here on campus, and everybody's got work to do. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Hard shit regardless.